happy Saturday. It's Sunday, so happy Sunday. But anyway, so I said I wasn't gonna get any new makeup during the spring sale, right? I know I said that. I'm pretty sure I said that. But see, what had happened was, I went to return the Pat McGrath. Look, I blame everything on Sephora. It's all Sephora's fault. If they would keep that damn Tatcha primer stocked in store, then this wouldn't have been a thing. But anyway, I went to return the Pat McGrath palette on Friday, and I was, waiting for them to find out whether or not they had more of the Tatcha primer in stock and back, because I have been living on samples because I want it. I want it now. But yeah, so I was waiting for them to come out and let me know whether or not they had anything in the back. And while I was doing that, I kind of just like wandered over to the CoverFX display, and then I wandered over to the Huda display, which, by the way, y'all are savages, because the Huda display was completely cleaned out. There was like 2 packs of lashes and 1 foundation left. Everything was gone. And this was Friday, the start of the sale. But in any case, I wound up, like I said, wandering over to the CoverFX section, and I have been wanting to try the Power Play foundation for a long time. Well, since it came out. But CoverFX and I don't necessarily get along. I've tried a bunch of their products, and honestly, I usually don't like them, or I break out from them. CoverFX is another green brand, so that might be it. Some of their ingredients just might not mesh well with my skin. But I swatched the foundation, and someone had recommended that I get G80, but I swatched G90 and I liked it. It was like a perfect match. I've swatched it on the inside of my arm, which is usually the closest place in color to my face. So I swatched it on the inside of my arm, and it was perfect. So I picked up G90. I also got a Huda lipstick, and I got a mini version of the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder in medium deep, because I've been wanting to try that as well. But yeah, I picked up G90 and I came home, and I came home about an hour after I swatched it. And when I got home, I noticed that the dry down on the foundation was darker than what it looked like in store. So I probably really should have gotten G80, but I tried it yesterday and it looked perfect, and then I realized that I had tried it over the Tatcha primer, the sample that I got, and that primer makes everything look perfect. So I took it off. I did record part of the video yesterday as a first impressions, but then I realized that it wasn't a real first impressions, because like I said, the Tatcha primer makes everything look better. And also, I wanted to do a wear test today anyway, because I'm going into work right now. So I took it off. This isn't like going to be like a true first impression video, but I can tell you some of the things that I noticed yesterday when I put it on. The dry down is darker on my face as it was in my arm, but I'm kind of okay with that. It wasn't a terrible dry down. It was noticeable though, but it wasn't terrible, and I'm kind of okay with it. It's fine with me. Like I said, I got G90. The bottle is like a lot of these new plastic squeeze tube bottles that we see coming out with foundations now, which I personally like, because it means that I will get all of my foundation out of a bottle instead of using a pump, which, like some of the pumps, the straw is too short, some of them are too long, you don't always get all your foundation out. So I prefer these anyway, and also these are better if you travel a lot, because they won't explode in your luggage the way a glass bottle will. But yeah, I really do like this, except this one is a little bit, the plastic on this is a little bit harder than it is on some of the other. Yo, the pollen is no joke out here. Like, do you see my eyes? That's pollen. But anyway, this plastic is a little bit harder than it is on, say, like the Dior. So this one is a little bit harder to squeeze. This foundation is supposed to be, I think, medium to full. I am going to go ahead and try to build it up to full. Let's see if I can do that. Also, yesterday when I first tried it, I couldn't feel it on my face, but once again, the Tatcha primer does that because it creates a barrier in between your skin and a foundation. So yeah. Anyway, today I've just used a regular foundation. I used the what did I use? I used the Makeup Forever Pore, hold on. I used the Makeup Forever Step 1, the Skin Equalizing Primer. Yeah, it doesn't say, oh, the smoothing primer, sorry. Yeah, that's what I used today. And I've already done my under eye concealer and stuff. I'm not really doing a whole lot. Like, I can't really go near my eyes right now because, yeah. So like I said, this one is a little bit harder to squeeze out than the others that I've used. And this is what G90 looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a wear test today. I should be working for probably about 6 or 7 hours. It is now about 12:45. I should be back here probably around 8 or 9, and then I will let you guys know what my final thoughts are on this foundation. But like I said yesterday when I wore it, one of the things that I liked about it is it feels and it looks like a demi matte. Oh, another thing for me, this is very yellow. It's very obviously yellow on me. But it looks and feels like a demi matte foundation. There's a slight satin sheen to it, which is not terrible. It's actually kind of nice. The only drawback to this foundation for me that I noticed yesterday was, like I said, it's quite yellow. You can see. Because G90 is supposed to be medium dark with golden undertones. And my undertones are golden, but not completely. They're golden peach. So the yellow of this foundation really does show up on me. When it dried down, it didn't look terrible, though. It just looked a bit darker. I also really like the way this applies. Like, it dries down matte, and one of the things that I noticed yesterday when I first put it on was that there is like no transfer to this foundation. Absolutely none. Like, a couple of minutes after I finished applying it, I tapped my face just randomly. I wasn't even checking to see if there was transfer, and I was like, oh, took my finger off. Absolutely nothing there. Okay, so with one layer, you see that it covers pretty well. I don't even really know if I'm gonna try to build up to full coverage. I don't think I'll be able to handle that. But I still needed, and this is another thing I noticed yesterday, I still needed color correction around my dark spots, like right here, around my mouth. Like, you can't really see it on camera. You won't really be able to see it on camera, but it's very pronounced right here. And this side, being the darker side of my face also, is one of the reasons why I didn't particularly mind the darker dry down, because when it actually did finish drying down, it looked perfect on this side. It just looked a little bit too dark over here. It's actually really easy to apply also, and it's so creamy that it blends in really, really well. And even though it dries down to a very, well, not, I wouldn't say a very matte finish, like it feels really comfortable. Even though it's a matte finish, it does dry down to a budge-proof matte finish, but it's really comfortable. Like, I can't really feel it on my face right now. I couldn't feel it yesterday either, but I had attributed that to the Tatcha primer, but I think that it might just be the foundation, but we won't know until we go through the whole day with this joint on my face. Okay, here we are, medium coverage. I'm not gonna go for full coverage. I wouldn't be able to handle that. And like I said, it is super yellow. If you think I'm joking about how yellow it is, this is my arm. This is my normal coloring, and as you can see, like, without the foundation, I do look yellow, but when you see my foundation next to my skin, I look like I have jaundice. So, yeah. I am going to use the Laura Mercier medium deep translucent powder to see if I can tone this yellow down a little bit. Yeah, give me a second. Okay, so I feel like the Laura Mercier powder toned it down just slightly, which is good. Actually, I have the regular Laura Mercier powder. I have about 4 of them, actually, and I don't like the regular one because it just, everybody raves about it, but to me, it just left me looking super ashy. Okay, guys, this is the final look.
Something went wrong. Try again in a few seconds.
That was my Google Home making herself known. Anyway, like I said, this is the final look. Huda Beauty Liquid Matte Lipstick in Trophy Wife, Sephora Colorful Blush in number 7, Hey Jealousy. I didn't use any eyeliner on my lids because the pollen is already irritating my eyes and my lids are a little bit swollen, so I didn't want to make it any worse, so we're not doing that today. But so far so good. The very yellow undertone aside, I actually do really like this foundation. Even at medium coverage, it covers a lot for me anyway. If you have like more hyperpigmentation and dark spots and stuff like that, you may need to go full. But for me, at medium coverage, this is really, really good, and I really like it. It feels comfortable on the skin, and it just kind of looks like skin, which to me is always a plus. I just really wish that on me it wasn't quite so freaking yellow. But yeah, this is what we have right now. Like I said, it is 106, probably like 107 at this point, 108 and a half. At this point, I will be back here later to let you know how this held up, because I'm going to be on a steam bar later, and we know how that goes. So I'll be back a little bit later on to let you know how this foundation held up. Also, I did use the Laura Mercier loose translucent powder in medium deep that I also got at the same time to set my face. So yeah, we'll see in conjunction how these two hold up. I wasn't going to use a setting powder because I wanted to see how the foundation performed on its own, but it was just too yellow. I had to do something to tone the yellow down a little bit, and even though the Laura Mercier powder did tone the yellow down, it's still quite yellow. But yeah, it's what we got. Yeah, actually really, I like what's going on my face today. I really do. I really kind of like what's going on my face today. But yeah, guys, I will see you back here a little bit later. Okay, guys, I am back. It is 9:30 on the dot. And yeah, so these are my thoughts. As you can see, I don't know, can you tell, like, it's gotten slightly darker, not too much darker. There hasn't been any real breakdown of the foundation. If you remember, I put it on at about somewhere between 145 and, no, not 145, somewhere between 1245 and 106, somewhere about that, and it's now 9:30, so however many hours that's been. There has been like no real breakdown anywhere. I'm a little bit shiny on my cheeks, but not a whole lot, and honestly most of the shine that you see on my cheeks are from my highlighter, not anything else. Can't feel it on my skin. It's still yellow as hell, which is, you know, I guess I just have to deal with it because I'm not taking it back. I actually really like it, so it's mine for keeps. However, there was a little bit of gathering right here on my mouth of the foundation. There's a little bit gathered right here, and then it's faded around my dark spots right here. But yeah, other than that, it's still perfect. There's really not a whole lot of loss of coverage. Like, this hyperpigmentation mark was completely covered before, and now it's peeking out, but it's not as pronounced as it is without foundation. The hyperpigmentation that I have right here is showing as well, but once again, not as pronounced as it normally would be. So yeah, Definitely a fan. I'm not even mad about the darker dry down because that means that I'll probably be able to wear it in the summer. And I think this foundation is going to be a really good foundation in the summer. Like I said, it is budge proof once you put it on, even without setting it with powder. It's completely not transferring anywhere. It wasn't so damn yellow. Good God. Alright guys, that's pretty much all I have to say about this foundation. I like it. It's a good foundation. It's good if you have combination skin. It's good if you have normal skin. Not so great, I don't think, if you have dry skin, but you can go ahead and try it anyway. It is a medium to full buildable coverage foundation, $44, and for $44 you get 1.8 no, I'm lying. You get 1.18 fluid ounces. That's almost 1.2 fluid ounces of product for $44. A lot of foundations that cost more give you less and don't perform nearly as well. So it's a pretty good value. It's a really good foundation, and I'm kind of happy that I picked it up. So anyway, I am tired. I want to go wash my face. But as usual, it's been real. It's been fun. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.